Hello guys, welcome once more to Class Online, and my name is Tutor Dami. In this video, we shall be dealing with some Jamb questions that many students find very problematic, and we shall be removing all complexities. Now, don't forget that if you learn something from this video, click on like button. We have loads of content to share with you that will better help you understand physics. In this edition, we shall be looking at Jamb Physics 2016 question number 26 to 30, and we shall be destroying those questions. Let's check out number 26 now. Which of the following correctly explains why a green leaf appears green in bright daylight? Do you have any idea? It absorbs only the green component of sunlight. It absorbs all colors in the sunlight except green. It reflects only the green component of sunlight. Now, actually, there's one thing you must know, that everything you see around you are reflecting light to your eyes, and that's why you can see them. What I mean is that if I'm looking at a table now, that table, I can only see that table because light is coming from the table to my eyes, and the table is reflecting the light around, and the light is coming to my eyes. That's why if you put off the light, I can't see anything because those things are not reflecting anything to my eyes again. Now, but generally, you must also know another thing, that when you see a white colored cloth, it is because that cloth is reflecting all the light coming around it. That's why it is white. White is only white in our eyes because they are reflecting all colors. Now, but black is black. Black cloth, like I'm putting on black cloth now. The black cloth is black because it is absorbing all color. So black absorb colors or absorb it, while white reflect it or reflect colors, and that's why they are black and white. That's the way they are. That's why they are the way they are, and that's the explanation. But what if I have a red cloth on? The red cloth absorb all color and reflect only red. That's why I see the cloth as red. It's not really because it is just color red. The reason is because it absorbs all color and reflects red, and that's why I can see red. So in the case of this leaf now, this green leaf is green leaf, right? But it absorbs, the answer is therefore it absorbs all colors from the sunlight except green. It absorbs, no, the sunlight is coming is multicolored, but the green leaf, because the leaf is green, it will absorb all the color but refuse to absorb green. It will shine out green, and when you look at the tree, you'll be seeing green leaf. So that's why it is green. And number two is it reflects only the green component of sunlight, and that's also true. So that's what you have there. It absorbs all colors in sunlight except green, and it reflects only the green part. Why is it? Now, actually, that number two is the same thing with number three. I'm just saying the same thing in different ways. So it reflects only the green component of the sunlight. That means there are many components in the sunlight, but the green component is reflected. Okay, and only the green component is reflected, and that is the answer to number 26. Let's check out number 27 now. Which of the following factors has no effect on the EMF of a primary cell? Which one does not affect EMF? Now, EMF means electromotive force. Now, is it for a battery? A primary cell is a kind of a battery cell. Now we have nature of the plate, size of the cell, temperature, nature of the electrode. Now, first of all, let's know what we call EMF. EMF is the amount of work done between the terminal of the battery. Like you have, batteries have positive and negative terminals, right? Now, the amount of work done between the terminals, which one will not have effect on the work done? Is it the nature of the plate of the battery, or the size of the battery cell, or the temperature, or the nature of the electrode? If you don't know, I'll tell you. Now, first of all, this is a primary cell. These are primary cells. We use them at home. You can see them. They are non-rechargeable batteries or non-rechargeable cells. We put them in our clock, we put them in our radio, etc. Now, but which one affects the EMF? The simple answer is here. Now let's talk about the nature of the plate. The plate is inside the battery cell. The nature of this plate affects, but which one does not affect? So the nature of the plate, if the plates are too close, it affects. The size of the cell does not affect the work done by the cell. and this is the reason. Now, normal work will be done. All the cells you are seeing here, they will all do their normal work regardless of their size. So this battery is going to work normally. It's going to do the amount of work it is designated to do with regardless of its size. So the size of the battery is not going to reduce its normal work. So the amount of work or the EMF of the cell will still function no matter what the size of the cell is. So the EMF is not affected by the size of the cell. Then temperature. If the cell is heating, the amount of heat around the temperature of the cell, like you have a hot battery, is going to affect the amount of work that the battery can do. Like if you have a battery that is overheating, if it is overheating, the work level of the battery will begin to drain. So a very hot battery does less work. So temperature affects the work done by the battery. The nature of the electrode. Electrode is what is inside the battery, is the liquid inside the battery. If it is made of copper, if it's made of lead, they both affect, or the amount of what it is, the acid inside the battery. So depending on the type of material that is used to make the electrode or the battery, it will affect the amount of work that the battery will do. So the only one that will not affect the battery work at all is the size of the battery, and that is the answer to the question. Now that means B, the correct answer. Let's check out number 28. When the bottom tip of a vibrating tuning fork is held in contact with a wooden block, a louder sound is heard. This phenomenon is known as what? Do you have any idea? You must have heard about tuning fork before now, and you must have heard about tuning fork producing sound through inside a wooden box. Now, is this beat or echoing or reverberation or resonance? Now, this is what you have here. Resonance of sound waves. So the answer is resonance. Now, you can see the tuning fork. You can see when you hit the tuning fork, what happens? It begins to vibrate, right? And then the sound, when you hit it here, the sound begins to what? Increase. You see sound wave coming out from the box, right? So vibrating air column comes out. Then we have a sympathetic vibration. So now this one here, this tuning fork A, when you hit it, the sound wave vibrate, and the second tuning fork B will feel the effect and begin to vibrate also. So what I'm saying is that if I am here, Mr. Joe took a spoon or something metallic and hit this tuning fork, the vibration will make sound, and the sound is going to travel all the way to this second box. You did not hit this one, but this one will respond also by vibration. So the sound will get to this box. The wave of the sound, that sound wave, will move this way and vibrate this box, and the second tuning fork on its own will also vibrate. And this is what we call resonance. When the natural frequency of a material is transmitted to the next material through it, is called resonance. When a material make other material to vibrate with its own natural frequency, that is the meaning of resonance. And that's what you have here. This one, you hit it only once and it begins to vibrate on its own naturally. So the frequency, the vibration is transmitted by wave, sound wave, to this box, and when this box gets it, it transmits the same frequency of this one into this tuning fork, and this phenomenon is called resonance in physics, and that makes the answer resonance. And that's number 28. Let's check out number 29. A particle of mass m which is at rest splits up into two. If the mass and velocity of one of the particle are m and v respectively, calculate the mass, the velocity of the second particle. Now, if you have a body at rest, mass m, and it split into two, that means it began to move, and this phenomenon can best be explained by a gun. Now, you know, guns have masses. They have their own natural masses. So if a gun is resting and you shoot, a momentum will be created by the gun and the bullet. This is the gun. When you shoot, the gun is going to recoil while the bullet is going to be launched. So they will move at two different momentum. One will move backward, one will move forward. So as the bullet goes forward, the gun will go backward. And then, so the gun is the particle of mass m at rest. That when you have not shot it. Then, if the mass and velocity of one of the particle are m and v, let's say that's for the bullet. It is going out with it has its own mass, weight, size, and it has its own velocity, and that makes mass and velocity makes for momentum. So it goes out with a momentum, mass and velocity. Then they calculate the velocity of the second particle, and that second particle is the gun. So what is the velocity of the gun? Now generally we know in physics that mv is for momentum, but when it comes to gun, you know, it will become mv, that's for the bullet, equals that of the gun. Now they didn't mention the mass of the gun. They only say that at the beginning it is m and v, that's mass. Then this is the mass of the bullet and the momentum. But the mass of the gun will now be the initial mass minus the mass of the bullet. Of course, that is normal, because initially we have m, that for the mass of the gun and the bullet when the bullet was still inside the gun. Then when you remove the bullet, you'll be left with the mighty mass, that's the combined mass minus the mass of the bullet. So that will be the mass of the gun, and then you'll be left with then you will have the velocity of the gun. I just call it v0 on my own, and that's v0. So this is the mass of the bullet, the momentum of the bullet equals the momentum of the gun, and you know momentum means mass times velocity, and that's what I have here. So this is the mass of the bullet, velocity of the bullet, mass of the gun, which is the total mass minus the mass of the bullet, and then the velocity of the gun. So I put v0 just to differentiate it. So now what's now the velocity of the second one? That's the gun. That will now become, remove this one from here, put it under here, and that will become mv over m minus m, and that is my answer. So the velocity of the gun is, therefore that's the second velocity, or the bigger velocity is m times v over m minus m, while this one is the capital M minus the smaller m, and that's your answer. And that makes option D the correct answer, mv over m minus m. It looks like option C, but B, but option B is capital M, but option D is supposed to be smaller m, that's lower m. It is m, the lowercase m, and v over the uppercase m minus the lowercase m, and that's the answer for number 29. And let's check out number 30 now. The electrochemical equivalence of silver is 0.0012 gram per coulomb. If 36 grams of silver is to be deposited by electrolysis on a surface by passing a steady current for 5 minutes, the current must be what? Now look at this carefully now. Let's solve this now. This is a question on electrolysis, right? Now, and we are giving the formula, but generally you must know that first of all there are two laws in electrolysis, and those laws are the formula for electrolysis. Any question on electrolysis must pass through the two laws, and those two laws are what? They are the first law, they are the first Faraday law and the second Faraday law. Now, but physics focus more, I don't know why, on the first Faraday law, and this is the first Faraday law. The quantity of current, of electricity passing through an electrolyte, okay, is directly proportional to the mass of the electrolyte, and that's the first Faraday law. So it is simplified as mass is directly proportional to Q, where Q is charge or quantity of electricity, okay, and this is it. Then if you now want to make it more mathematical, this directly proportional will now become equals K. It will change into equals K. It will now become M equals K, and Q will also change into IT, where my I is my current and my T is my time. So I'll have M equals K IT, and that is you've broken them down. So this equivalence change to equals to K, where my and my Q, that's my charge, change into current times time, and that's what I have there. Now we are told to find the current. That means you will have to remove these constants and time and put them under the mass. So I is therefore mass over K times T. Now what's the mass in the question? 36 grams, and that's 36 over what's my constant? 0.0012, and that's what I have here. Then my time is what? 5 minutes, but that is wrong. That's a trap. That's a trap, because time can't be measured in minutes. Time must be in seconds, so you must change it to seconds. That will become 5 times 60, and that makes 300. So 300 times this will give me 0.36. So that will give me 36 over 0.36, and if you divide it, you'll be getting 100 ampere as your answer, and that is the answer to the question. Don't forget, it all came from the mighty first Faraday law of electrolysis, and that says mass is directly proportional to charge. And that's it. Now, in fact, I noticed something in past questions that if you know this formula, you can tackle any question on electrolysis in physics, because physics does not really ask. Physics, I've never seen a past question of physics asking about the second Faraday law, and I don't know why. But physics somehow focus analytic questions on the first Faraday law. That means this formula can help you answer any question in physics on electrolysis. M equals is directly proportional to Q. So if you know it, you'll be very good with any physics question on electrolysis. And that brings us to the end of this video. Don't forget, if you learned something from this video, click on like button. We have more content that will better help you understand physics. Until we see next time, guys, take care of yourself and bye for now.